Rest in peace, Scattaboo. You were fun the first few weeks, and now you are injured, and I am very depressed and sad. And why can't we have anything good?
Giants fans be like,
I blame you.
what?
Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Josiah.
And I'm Will.
And today we're going over the week 8
recap.
recap.
And
It's getting to that point of the season where I forget which week it is.
it's going to be interesting because we're not going to have power rankings in this one. Power rankings is going to be different video.
Sorry. All right. But there's plenty of things to talk about.
Oh,
I'm sure there's plenty of things to talk about.
Absolutely.
Especially what the heck happened Thursday night.
Thursday night?
Yeah. I know it's not super crazy, but it does need to be talked about. So,
Chargers back to form while Vikings are...
dog water.
Well, I mean, Carson Wentz at the helm. I didn't really have that much faith in Carson Wentz.
So the whole news that broke out of that game, obviously Chargers win, but apparently Carson Wentz has been playing through an injury this
It was
entire
a
time.
shoulder injury,
It
I
was a
think?
shoulder injury this entire time, and he's been playing. And I just constantly think, I understand that you're not quite ready to throw JJ back in there, but also he's injured. I'm not saying that, he can't suck it up and go out there and play football, but you can clearly see it like affecting his game. Like I was watching that game live. There were definitely some throws where I was like, is he like finding like resistance with his like arm or something? Because there were some passes that were just terrible, and then just the terrible awareness in the pocket, just all that pressure that was coming from specifically Khalil Mack. Yeah, he wasn't escaping him.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
You do bring up a good talking point in that Khalil Mack's return. He played well. A lot of the Chargers have been getting healthier, which is good, and that kind of shows a lot of it. But the Carson Wentz injury thing, I mean, if you're the Vikings, who else do you turn to? I don't know. Trade for Kirk Cousins. Bring him back. I don't know. But the Vikings, they're kind of in like a rough spot right now, and they're kind of shaping up as that team we kind of thought they might be, where they're just not complete yet. We'll have to see how JJ looks when he comes back. I believe he is set to return next week because, I mean, you hope so, because Carson Wentz decided to undergo surgery, and that is going to end his season.
Yeah.
So, Vikings, I gotta hope JJ comes back. And looking at the Chargers, Joel returned.
Yeah.
I love those two together, Joel and Justin Herbert.
The
with
duo. The unlikely duo.
I don't know. I forget even who the touchdown pass was to. But those Joel and Justin Herbert afterwards just jumping up and down like I forget what my friend.
Hooray!
Yeah, my friend who is a Chargers fan was like, yeah, they look like white girls out there celebrating. I'm like, yeah, and I love it for them. They're like, it was so funny, but I love those two. I love a lot of pieces in LA right now. Also including the uniforms. And I love those uniforms. I love that.
Need to wear more often.
Era of the Chargers.
San Diego.
But looking actually at the game from the Chargers side, Vidal played very well. I had 117 yards on the ground and a touchdown. But the entire team kind of had their way. and looked like a dominant team again.
Yeah, it helps when you get your pieces back.
Khalil Mack and Joel, I think, are the two biggest additions back to the lineup. Obviously, Khalil Mack played a little bit last week, but he was limited. This week, he's a full participant, and I think it was crucial.
Yes, it was very crucial. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, so just when we thought the Falcons could maybe turn a new leaf, they go and do this. And I understand a little bit of a situation, but how do you lose to Tua turn the ball over and Mike McDaniel, who should be working at McDonald's? Because these two have been terrible all year, and you lose to them at home.
Yeah, it was not a pretty game.
It was ugly.
At least for the Falcons. Bijan wasn't able to get anything going. He was 9 for 25 on the ground. Obviously, you talk the Falcons. They're missing Michael Penix, missing Drake London. Their only real piece that was able to really contribute was Kyle Pitts, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, he did kind of decent for what he was working with, and it was also tight ends.
It was National Tight End Day,
Tight End Day, so I guess that's fair.
There were some numbers there, but yeah, the offense for the Falcons was, again, Kyle Pitts was the only one who kind of played well. Defense for the Falcons didn't do much, as Tua went 20 for 26, 205 and 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So they had a really good game. Falcons
had a really bad game.
I think that run game for the Falcons is a lot bigger of a problem than we previously thought. And
yeah, that's not good, especially with how most of their production comes from the run game. So they need to fix that immediately, or otherwise they're falling off the cliff again. So
I mean, it's same old Falcons, inconsistent. They'll win big games and then they'll lose to not good teams.
No.
And in fashions they shouldn't lose, but this is just kind of the Falcons team that I've come to accept, is that they're inconsistent and they're probably going to end around mediocre.
Moving on, we have the Buffalo Bills absolutely dominating the Carolina Panthers in what was supposed to be I wouldn't say a closer game, but I didn't think they were going to do this to the Panthers. Then again, it is Josh Allen, so I shouldn't expect less.
I mean, this was, I figured, a pretty one-sided performance. I didn't, again, like you mentioned, I didn't expect it to be as dominant. James Cook going for 19 rushes, 216 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. But
he had himself a day. And the thing is that the Panthers had the red rifle, Andy Dalton.
Yeah, Bryce Young being injured,
he wasn't able to do anything.
But what I will add is, like, looking at a lot of these games from this week, there's only one-score game that came away from this week. Most of these games were blowouts or big solid wins.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these we're going to look at and go, this should have been closer, but it wasn't, because some teams did not show up very well at all. Some teams did. I also want to point out an interesting thing is that these teams that won, all winning teams won the ground game. All of the winning teams had more rushing yards than the other, and the only two that didn't go over 100 yards, and a few even went over 200 yards on the ground, was Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Green Bay had True. And Green Bay had the smallest margin of a rushing yard victory by 1 yard over the Steelers. But it was a week where the ground game basically decided it all. I mean, there were games where the pass game was crucial as well, but
yeah, I think this was just an ugly week of football. I'm not gonna lie. When you looking at all these blowouts or very confident wins for most of these teams.
I mean, yeah.
You would think there'd be close games here and there, but this week was very defining for some teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at like some of the like Patriots, Browns, that one was no one's really surprised by that one. The favorites did really well this week.
Yes.
Bucks Saints, where I mean, Bucks didn't do much on offense at all, but
They still won pretty convincingly, though.
dominated the Saints on defense, which led to the Saints actually benching Spencer Rattler.
For Tyler Shook.
Which, I mean, my opinions on the matter are that Rattler wasn't I don't think Rattler's a good quarterback, but he provides more excitement.
Yes.
He provides higher upside, where Shook is kind of like, he might be a safer option, but he's not going to do much for your offense.
No.
It's going to kind of just be, you're going to be whelmed.
Yes. That's a pretty good explanation
Like-
for that. There's not much you're going to expect from that guy.
Other games, though, like Colts rolling over the Titans, where the Titans, not really a good team, didn't expect much there. But I do want to mention like how dominant the Colts have been and how dominant they were in this game.
It's the Jonathan Taylor show, bro. That's what this is. It's just, well, obviously it's not just Jonathan Taylor, but he's been providing a great run game for this Colts team. He alone has been probably one of the best offensive production players in the entire league.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Daniel Jones, who everyone wrote off probably right after the 2022 push for the playoffs. He's never been good up until this year, which is really weird because we did not expect this. When you were competing with AR, or Anthony Richardson, for a starting position, people don't really expect this kind of result, especially with AR supposed to be the kind of like the face of the franchise.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He doesn't belong there anymore, I guess. So.
I remember you back in like the preseason and off season of like Anthony Richardson. If you can't beat Daniel Jones, turns out there's
a good reason for that
Daniel
now.
Jones decided that he was the next coming of Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck for
I guess.
the Colts franchise. So
Yeah, I mean, he is a tall,
I mean,
white quarterback, so
yeah, and he can run. So that
he
helps.
can run too. He has mobility.
But yeah, this Colts team, like again, you said it. Jonathan Taylor was the whole ground game. He had 3 touchdowns, 153 yards, and 153 of the 164 rushing yards for the Colts. So he accounted for all but 11 of them, and he did that on just 12 carries.
Jeez.
He averaged, I think, 12 yards a carry, which is
Somebody stop him.
those are college numbers.
Those are very much college numbers.
college
That's not
numbers.
something you see in the NFL very often.
You're not supposed to. But yeah, like you mentioned, Daniel Jones has been doing very good because he added 3 scores and was just efficient.
Yes. Efficient is a very
and
good.
They have Indianapolis 2 games where they didn't score 30 points, averaging 33.8, while their opponents are averaging under 20 at like 19.8.
That's crazy.
So that is actually, I'm pretty sure on the dot, a 14-point margin of victory on average, which is absurd
Again,
for any team.
Somebody stop him. I don't know. This Colts team is very surprising, very exciting, I'd say. This is kind of what I was kind of hoping for the AFC South. Just somebody in the AFC South to just pull away and do a big turnaround, have a great season. Did not expect it from the Colts. I thought it would be Jacksonville, or at least consistency with the Houston Texans, but neither of those teams have been consistent this year. But the Colts have, which is very weird. I'll give it that.
It is odd. I do have a question though, because like this is an ugly loss for the Titans.
Yes.
But do the Titans look better than when they had Callahan?
They definitely feel more competitive.
This isn't a great way to measure it, obviously.
No.
This is not,
this is
not the game.
Indianapolis. I don't think you're going to have a good
But
indication.
I feel like their offense has been better.
They have life.
It's been functional-ish. It's still not a good offense.
No, but it's a competent offense that at least moves down the field.
You get to see Cam Ward do something.
Yeah, he's not restricted by a loony on the sideline who doesn't know how to coach.
He actually seems like he's getting a chance to do something, whereas before he didn't even have time to throw the ball. And again, there's still a lot of issues with the Titans, but I am kind of happy to see there be like some improvement.
Yeah. Something different.
Looking around some of the other games, we have to talk about it at some point. Might as well jump to it now. The only one score game on the week, and the biggest shocker,
Yes.
the Jets defeating the Bengals. And I wouldn't say that I didn't think it wasn't possible, but I didn't think of all of the weeks of Jets winnable games with how we saw that the Bengals play last week that this would be the one. But it seems like everything lined up for the Jets. I mean, you gave Justin Fields the narrative he needed to go out and prove that he can start, and he did. He had, 240 passing yards.
Yes.
So just goes to prove that he can pass the ball.
He just didn't choose to the last few weeks.
It's like it's a feel good story for him because he says that amidst all the management with all the demoralizing comments they've made, and the Jets upper management really irks me because just over the years they've made some very questionable decisions, made some questionable comments, and it seems like almost like a child is running the team because
it's like there's a owner who hasn't learned anything.
Yeah. So until the Jets can address that, I think that's still going to be the reality. But looking at the game itself, again, Fields played well. Breece Hall had 3 total touchdowns, 2 rushing and 1 passing, and accounted for over 150 yards. Meanwhile, the Bengals' kryptonite remains the same, and it is not the fact that you don't have Joe Burrow. It is your defense. They allowed over 500 yards and 23 fourth quarter points.
I didn't get to see this game, but the fact that against the Jets,
I figured the Jets would get a win. They don't they don't strike me as the kind of incompetent of the Browns and the Lions of the past.
Yeah.
But and again, I won't say quite here, but I kind of drew a comparison to this before where it almost feels more like where the Lions were at when Dan Campbell took over. Where it's like there's probably some of it is the fact that it's Aaron Glenn. He came from Campbell's coaching tree.
Same position, yeah.
But it's like this team has potential, but they've just been in such a bad spot that they need time to rebuild and kind of get back into a winning culture. Mm-hmm. And that takes time. Again, like we saw with Dan Campbell and the Lions when they first started. So Jets, I'm happy for them to get their first win. Bengals fans are not having a good time.
A bit irate.
Yes, and rightfully so because that defense dropped the ball so bad.
They suck.
Yeah, their defense is. I'm curious to see what the Bengals do going forward.
Indeed.
But looking around the league as some of the other games we saw, Giants Eagles you mentioned.
Yes.
This Scadaboo injury, which was not a pretty one.
No, it was not. And I hope that he has a speedy recovery and he comes back very soon. Because, like, that is, like, the one thing that I was hoping that wouldn't happen. But we can't have nice things in this world.
Nope, especially like Giants actually getting some excitement, and then that happens. And going forward, it seems like it's gonna be just Jackson Dart because you have what, like, you had one good receiver, he's out for the year, so now you got to work with, like, your number one is Wandale Robinson, who
Yeah.
he's
been
good, but he's
decent.
not like ooh, Malik Neighbors. And then you no longer have a running back. Now you have to lean on Tyrone Tracy. You're just
Who's serviceable?
he's serviceable, but that's like this team wasn't good before. The pieces that made it exciting on the offense, at least, are gone except for Jackson Dart. So we're gonna see how much he can pull weight as he's like
Only,
he has to kind of pull everything together.
at least on the offense. The defense needs to step up their game, too.
Defense is solid. They have, again, that trio of pass rushers is very scary, but they still got some missing pieces on the rest of the defense. But looking at what the Eagles were able to do, 150 on the ground for Saquon and 104 for Tank Bigsby. That's 254 rushing yards between two players. Which is,
Ridiculous.
yeah, they had a good game. Eagles got some vengeance, to say
Sweet justice that they've been waiting to get.
to say
For a
the
while.
least. Some other games to kind of skim over. Packers Steelers. I feel like we talked at length about that. Packers show up in the second half with some adjustments after a rocky first half.
Yeah.
Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft are like best buddies. Love,
Duo for the Packers. They've kind of needed somebody to step up there. Kraft has done that. So it's good to see some offensive production and that we can kind of tell who the main target is on the Packers because it's been mostly spread around. But with Christian Watson back, that kind of adds more opportunity. And the Packers kind of just do well when Watson's there. So he's not the impact player, but like he is an impactful player when he's there.
Oh, absolutely.
So the Packers they're gearing up for a full-on push right now because they're 6-1-1. No,
5-1.
5-1-1. Which is I hate ties, but yeah, they're really good. So
That's where it's at. Meanwhile, looking at the Steelers, they kind of collapsed in the second half and might be collapsing the second half of the season again because where they looked like they had a pretty clear road to the playoffs. Now they're getting some difficult games coming up. You're not playing. Your defense is extremely questionable right now, and you're only 2 games ahead of like even the Ravens, who between Ravens and Bengals, you don't know who might be the one to step up and take it. But like again, the Ravens only being 2 games back right now after the start of the season they had.
Mm-hmm.
That seems really doable.
There's going to be a push in the AFC North, so we got to see what happens here. Obviously, Steelers got to make a big push here.
They got
to make some noise here very soon. Otherwise, it's going to be a really long year. So it's just kind of what we've seen. Yeah, I mean, it's just is it Buccaneers? I mean,
Bucks Saints. We did talk about them.
yeah.
Chiefs Commanders.
Chiefs Commanders.
Chiefs second half turned it on again, and
This is kind of what you expect from this team. Like, you're not worried about them. I wouldn't be worried about the Chiefs. If anybody is worried about the Chiefs, you all need to get your vision checked. They're fine. They don't need.
I think they'll make it to the playoffs okay, as long as they don't end up where they were at the beginning of the year, as they don't have anything bounce back on them. But Commanders, still some of the same question marks. It's just kind of playing a complete game.
They're not very healthy right now either.
I mean, missing Jaden Daniels, they got a lot of pieces back, but missing Jaden Daniels definitely hurts. Marcus Mariota has been able to step in very well into that scheme for the Commanders, but
To a degree.
I mean, again, he's not Jaden Daniels, mostly because he's not young anymore. He's a veteran presence, and there's benefits to that, but it's the Chiefs team also just performed very well in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, overall this week it's just been. It's not disappointing. It's just a little underwhelming. There wasn't a whole lot of games that were very close or very competitive. There wasn't a lot of great games from certain teams. You had blowouts from
pretty much all of
Bills.
them.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. Bills dominated. Eagles dominated. Patriots dominated. Broncos definitely dominated the game.
That's one that was kind of fun to watch. Not in the sense of it was competitive, but just how dominant that defense was against Dak and
Really good offense.
yeah. Well, we expected to be a really good offense and make it. I think the outcome was a question mark, but we didn't necessarily think that it would be.
Be that kind of.
It's just I guess we kind of see that like when the pressure gets to Dak, which we've seen before in other regards, but when pressure gets to Dak, he kind of folds a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like, maybe people get upset about that, but that is kind of what we've seen it in playoffs year after year.
That's just how he kind of rolls, honestly. It's not.
So,
It's just reality with him. Like he's not gonna do a whole lot, guys.
Because this game came down to pretty much what could Dak do to keep them in these games. You're going against a defense that's going to generate pressure, but Pat Surtain went down. You had a really good chance to attack that secondary with two receivers who are potentially top 5 receivers this year, and with CD and George Pickens. Very scary attack, and you weren't able to find the end zone with any of them. He threw 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, and he just had a really rough time with that front seven. They were able to get to him. Meanwhile, the Broncos offense ran away with that game. And yeah, I guess kind of disappointing game from Dak and that passing attack. But also just give a lot of props to the Broncos. Ravens find themselves back in the win column.
Yeah.
Finally.
Took him a few weeks.
Missed Lamar again. There's some controversy over the he was listed as a full participant in practice, but only used limited.
Yeah.
And so
there was a bit of a.
It sounds like a mix-up
Weird.
where it seemed like he was meant to be listed as limited, but was listed as full participant. And so they might see a fine because rules are rules.
It happens.
But
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley ended up playing. He did pretty well. Defense stepped up pretty big for the Ravens. Caleb Williams had not a great game. He's getting a lot of flack for that loss, where it was, again, not his best. But the way I look at this, I said last week, this game was who wanted the win more.
Yeah, it was.
Bears wanted the win because it would give them some credibility.
And they didn't.
Ravens needed this win.
Yeah, it was
And
like,
so-
I need this right now, and they got it. It's just unfortunate because now the Bears are looking down the same barrel they did last year.
Yeah, you're just hoping it's not the same thing.
Yeah, you better hope not, because that's not what you want to see at this point. Because, oh boy,
Yeah, you'd hate to go
don't do what you did last year, please. Like we've seen that before.
4-2 to 4-12. Hopefully not the case again.
4-13, but same thing.
Well, they ended 5-12.
Oh yeah, never.
But
5-12.
again, you don't want that 10-game losing streak, so they're going to try and correct it. And I have faith that they will, but they're going to have to answer some questions for sure. Texans routing the 49ers.
Was not expecting that, especially with a performance from Stroud. That
Yeah, the
O-line.
offense performing well was a surprise. And, I mean, you got to wonder how much of that is just, like, the 49ers defensive, like, injuries kind of starting to show.
Yeah, and the thing is that they were even without Nico Collins.
Yeah,
They didn't have their top receiver.
they're
So they were working with backups and backups to backups.
yeah, like
So
Texans, you got to give them some credit. But a lot of it came from like that first half where they were able to get out to a good lead, and then
this kind of sat there.
Houston's defense, I've said it all year, has been actually pretty good. It's not their defense that's let them down; it's their offense that's let them down. So getting out to a lead and being able to hold it against the, let's be honest, San Francisco Christian McCaffreys, they were able to mitigate the ground game and be able to play from in front, and they did so pretty well.
Yeah.
So props to them. Again, I don't think either of us saw that coming, but some people definitely did.
Yeah.
But that looks like most of the games. Some other news, though. Outside of the games, we see the Saints have named Tyler Shook the starting quarterback going forward, at least for next week. We'll see how long
next
that
week, yeah.
lasts. We're starting to see a few trades.
Yeah.
Not a lot of big ones.
But some interesting ones.
The Rams trade for Titans corner Roger McCreary and a sixth for a conditional fifth that'll go to the Titans. We also saw the Patriots deal two former starters. One of these guys I didn't even realize wasn't even playing as much. They send Kyle Duggar and a seventh to the Steelers, so some safety help for the Steelers for a sixth-round pick. And they sent Keon White and a seventh to the 49ers for a sixth. So they get 2 sixths for 2 sevenths and 2 former starters.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to see the Patriots dealing out players, but
Out of all the teams, you think it wouldn't be them to give players away, but
you think
whatever
they might be buying, but maybe it's moving pieces to get capital to trade for someone.
It's probably what they're looking for.
Looking around, Logan Wilson, the Bengals linebacker, has been benched.
Oh yeah, he's been benched,
and
he wants
a
out.
trade now
He
because
wants out.
well, I mean, you're in Cincy. I don't blame you.
No, I don't blame you
wanting
either.
out, and he could be a pretty useful linebacker piece for someone around the league.
Yeah, there's a couple defenses that might need a certain linebacker.
He could pay dividends. Steelers, we've been talking about how they were looking for a speedy receiver. It looks like it isn't official yet, but it looks like they're planning to sign Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Scaling, yeah.
And that would make his fourth team he would be on this year, as he was on, I believe, the Chiefs last year. Mm-hmm. Then ended up signing with the Seahawks, got cut from the Seahawks, played with the 49ers a few weeks amidst the injuries, and now he's being released as they're getting healthier. So Steelers might get their speedy guy, which begs the question of what are the Steelers going to do?
do.
Are they going to make any big swings? It's the Steelers. I don't really expect many big swings from them.
No, I don't, but I'm keeping my eye on them. I'm watching them.
Yeah.
Watching them.
And then we mentioned Carson Wentz. He's going to be out for the rest of the year. Ed Oliver for the Bills has a torn bicep. He's going to be looked at, but he may be sidelined indefinitely. Obviously, we mentioned Cam Skattebo. But I guess to end off on a more positive note, there's obviously the fact that before I hit that closing point, that's just going to be a fun little thing to end off on. The trade deadline is November 4th. that will hit before the next time we record, and definitely before the next video that comes out. So this is the last video, last recap. We'll talk about in a recap next week what happens with the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Because we don't usually talk about it with preview, but this is going to be the last recap prior to
The trade deadline.
trade deadline. And so this time next week, we're going to be talking about some trades. And
Hopefully more trades, because there's not been a whole lot of movement.
It's
but
been-
it's the calm before the storm. There's gonna be something that
a
breaks.
lot of it happens
literally the
Monday
couple-
and Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday are like.
It'll be
the days.
after, like, it'll be say Cincinnati loses, they might look to deal. Teams that win will look to buy, teams that lose will look to sell. That's kind of, they're going to wait. A lot of teams wait till the last minute. So that's going to be interesting to cover next week. I know some guys have been taken off of that trade rumor spot. Max Crosby has been told that he
No,
will.
he's not
they're
going.
they're not going anywhere. Bengals have no plans to move on from Trey Hendrickson right now, and AJ Brown doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
No.
So those three, which have been talking points,
Yeah, they've been big talking points, especially at the beginning of the year.
yeah,
Brown.
yeah, those guys, they seem like they're going to stay, but we see, again, trade deadline. There's going to be pieces you don't really even think of.
Until it actually happens.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting some chaos to happen. So
I'd
I'm
be
just being
interested.
patient. I'm being patient.
I'd like to see some, but that'll be something to look forward to next week. But before we wrap this up, as you know, Sunday was National Tight Ends Day, and we got to see 12 tight ends. Well, actually, not 12 tight ends. We got to see 12 tight end touchdowns
Yes.
on that day. There were a few doubles. I think actually only one double, and I think that was Tucker Kraft, who had
Kraft was the double.
by far the best tight end performance of National Tight End Day, but the sports holiday founded by George Kittle, who did score a touchdown,
George Kittle did do
and so
something.
did his teammate Jake Tunges. They also scored touchdowns. We got to see 12 of them, so that was a nice
It's
little
a good
performance.
celebration. It's a good celebration. 'Cause,
Nice celebration of tight ends who have become maybe not, well, they're a pretty important part of these offenses, but it has turned them into a much more fan favorite position.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fan bases that have started to appreciate tight ends more and more. So
Yeah. Especially when they have a good one.
yeah, definitely.
It would help, you know.
That
Some
definitely
teams
helps.
don't, but you know how things are. But yeah, so I guess that kind of wraps up our recap. So thank you all for joining us on this recap. We're going to be looking to go over the preview here in a little bit. And I guess we'll see you then. Yeah.
Bye.